No one wants to be constantly working hard in their law firm, but not seeing enough cash to really justify being able to do it. All right. I'm going to break down what are the key reasons why bankruptcy law firms may still be struggling with collections, which then leads into huge problems with cash flow. So, here's what I see as the common problem of why law firms struggle when it comes down to being able to generate sufficient cash flow and being able to do really good with collections. The first one is I think it's probably the most obvious one, and sometimes it can feel a little embarrassing when this is brought up. And so I like to tell people is like, hey, this is a more common problem than you think. So don't be embarrassed if this is you. But the first one really is that they just didn't send the invoice. And I'll be honest, even running an accounting firm, like I've done that in my past before where we talked to a client, we went through the sales call and we had everything we need to start working, but we forgot to actually send the invoice. So what you want to make sure is that in your process, you need to make it very, very clear. At what point does the invoice need to be sent to the client? Like, how frequently will we bill? Who on the team is responsible for sending that bill? Because, see, it's very difficult and very hard for you to collect on an invoice that you never actually sent. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure you're sending the invoice. Now, the second thing that really a consistent problem I see is when the invoices are sent, a lot of times, if you have not been upfront and clear with the client about what this service is going to cost them, it tends to cause delay in them paying their invoice. So, what you want to do is you want to be very clear with them about what this service is going to cost. You want to be as upfront as possible to say, hey, here's the service you are hiring us for. Here's what we are promising to do. And here's how the billing is going to work. Here's how much it's going to cost. And here's how frequently or when the bill is coming. And here's when the payment is due. When you are that clear with people up front, it tends to speed up the amount of time it takes to actually get paid for the services that you provide. And then the last thing that I would say is after you've sent the invoice, when you notice that someone hasn't paid, one of the challenges that a lot of people have is calling someone and asking them for money. And I get it. That is not a very easy thing to do. It can be very nerve wracking. It can be very challenging. And it is a bit of an emotional pull, especially if you're not used to asking people to give you money. So here's what I recommend is set up a system to where if a person is past due, let's say less than 5 days, maybe we send a email reminder. And in most billing systems, you can send an automatic reminder because sometimes that automatic reminder could be the thing that they need to just remind them that, hey, I need to go pay this invoice. I mean, and I will say it's happened to me before with, different services that I buy. When you're busy running your business or busy living your life, sometimes you miss it in your email. So that simple reminder can be what's needed. And then if they haven't paid after 10 days, maybe we send a direct message. And maybe this is a text message that you send, or maybe this is an email directly to the person to say, hey, we noticed that the invoice hasn't been paid, wanted to bring this to your attention. Are you having issues accessing the payment link? Now, you can say payment link if you accept payments via, like, let's say a payment link or payment type of portal. But sending some type of direct message, like this isn't an automated system reminder. This is me sending you a direct message. And then if they haven't paid after 15 days, maybe at this point it's worth a phone call to just hop on the phone with them and just say, hey, we wanted to give you a call because we noticed that the payment hasn't gone through. We weren't sure if our emails were maybe ending up in your spam folder or maybe they were ending up in your junk inbox. So we wanted to call a follow up to see, hey, what can we do to help you get this invoice paid? Because we want to continue supporting your case. Now, After that phone call, if the invoice is not paid, at that point, we need to bring in the leadership team of the firm and we need to make a decision like, is this a case that we still want to continue supporting? If it is a case that we probably may need to make a petition to be removed as the attorney of record on the case, then we move forward with that. But if it's a case that we can't get out of that, we do have to finish the work. What you want to do is you want to be very, very smart about how much additional time gets invested into the case. Because if the person is not making a payment or has no plans of making a payment, then we want to limit the amount of time we continue to invest in this case. We want to do what is required of us, and we want to comply with our ethics and the model rules that we need to comply with. But we want to limit how much additional time and investment we put into this case if we know we are not going to get paid, or if the likelihood of getting paid is very, very low. So if you do those three things, I think you will give yourself a tremendous opportunity to see your collections improve. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Bankruptcy Law Firm Finance Show. At the end of the day, we make finance less complicated so you can build a more profitable law firm. If this was helpful for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow us for more great content.